Yes, a blessed morning to you wherever you are in any part of the world. This is Lagoon Radio, and you are on to your educational show and tagged Literary Word. Yes, it's a blessed morning, and you're welcome. Yes, if it's your first time being part of the show, this is where we run you through the world of literature. Yes, of course, where we familiar you with the content, yes, and the basic prospect in the aspect of literature with the head of the text of our choice. And lately, we've been dealing with the text of our choice. The title is Things Fall Apart by a renowned African writer of a blessed memory, Chinua Achebe. Yes, if you were with me last week, you will recollect that we were able to manage ourselves through the 22nd chapter of the text. Of course, where the relative peace in Umofia between the church and the local villages changes, and when the old leader of the church, Mr. Brown, is replaced by Reverend James Smith. Of course, that's where also we had Enoch on days to unmarked and Egugu during the annual ceremony to honor the health deity, an act equivalent to killing an ancestral spirit. Of course, the next day, the Egugu burn Enoch's compound to the ground. They then gather in front of the church to confront Reverend Smith and his fellow Christians. Of course, that all happened in the 22nd chapter of the text. And today we'll be going straight away to the 23rd chapter of the text of our choice. If you don't know, it's Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. And the 23rd chapter goes thus. For the first time in many years, Okonkwo had a feeling that was akin to happiness, the times which had uttered so accountably during his exile seemed to be coming round again. The clan which had turned foes on him appeared to be making amends. He had spoken violently to his clansmen when they had met in the marketplace to decide on the action, and they had listened to him with respect. It was like the good old days when a warrior was a warrior. Although they had not agreed to kill the missionary or drive away the Christians, they had agreed to do something substantial, and they had done it. Okonkwo was almost happy again. And for 2 days, each after the destruction of the church, nothing happened. Every man in Umofia went about armed with a gun or a machete. They would not be caught unaware like the men of Bami. Then the district commissioner returned from his tour. Mr. Smith went immediately to him and they had a long discussion. The men of Umofia did not take any notice of this, and if they did, they thought it was not important. The missionary often went to see his brother white man. There was nothing strange in that. And the 3 days after, the district commissioner sent his sweet-tongued messenger to the leaders of Mafia, asking them to meet him in his headquarters. That also was not strange. He often asked them to hold such palavers, as he called them. Okonkwo was among the 6 leaders he invited. Okonkwo warned the others to be fully armed. An Umofia man does not refuse a call, he said. He may refuse to do what is asked, he does not refuse to be asked. But the times have changed, and we must be fully prepared. And so the 6 men went to see the district commissioners armed with their machetes. They did not carry guns, for what would be unseemly. They were led into the courthouse where the district commissioner sat. He received them politely. They unslung their goatskin bag and their sheathed machetes, put them on the floor, and sat down. I have asked you to come, began the commissioner, because of what happened during my absence. I've been told a few things, but I cannot believe them until I have heard your own side. Let us talk about it, friends, and find a way of ensuring that it does not happen again. Ogwefi rose to his feet and began to tell the story. Wait a minute, said the commissioner. I want to bring in my men so they too can hear your grievances and take warning. Many of them come from distant places, and although they speak your tongue, they are ignorant of your customs. Jamie, go and bring the men. His interpreter left. With the courtroom soon returned with 12 men, they sat together with men of Umofia, and Ogwefi began to tell the story of how Enoch murdered Enegugu. It happened so quickly that the 6 men did not see it coming. There was only a brief scuffle, too brave even to allow the drawing of the sheathed machete. The 6 men were handcuffed and led into the guardroom. We shall not do you any harm, said the district commissioner to them later. If only you agree to cooperate with us. We have brought a peaceful administration to you and your people so that you may be happy. If any man ill-treats you, we shall come to your rescue. But we will not allow you to ill-treat others. We have a court of law where we judge cases and administer justice, so just as it is done in my own country under a great queen. I have brought you here because you joined together to molest others, to burn people's houses and their place of worship. That must not happen in the dominion of our queen, the most powerful ruler in the world. I have decided that you will pay a fine of 200 bags of cowries. You will be released as soon as you agree to this and undertake to collect that fine from your people. What do you say to that? Six men remained sullen and silent, and the commissioner kept them for a while. He told the court messengers when he left the guardroom to treat the men with respect because they were the leader of Umofia. They said, "Yes, sir," and saluted. And as soon as the district commissioner left, the head messenger, who was also the prisoner's barber, took down his razor and shaved off all the hair on the man's end. They were still handcuffed and they just sat and mobbed. Who is the chief among you? The court messenger asked in jest. We see that every pauper wears the anklets of title in Umofia. Does it cost as much as 10 cowries? The 6 men ate nothing throughout the day and the next. They were not even given any water to drink, and they could not go out to urinate or go into the bush when they were pressed. At night, the messenger came in and to touch them and to knock their shaven heads together. Even when the men were left alone, they found no words to speak to one another. It was only on the third day, when they could no longer bear the hunger and the insults, that they began to talk about giving in. We should have killed the white man if you had listened to me, Okonkwo snared. We could have been in Umuru now waiting to be hanged, someone said to him. Who wants to kill the white man? Asked the messenger who had just rushed in. Nobody spoke. You are not satisfied with your crime, but you must kill the white man on top of it. You carried a long stick and he hit each man a few blows on the head and back. Okonkwo was choked with hate. As soon as the 6 men were kicked up, court messenger went into Mafia to tell the people that their leaders would not be released unless they pay a fine of 250 bags of cowries. Unless you pay the fine immediately, said the white man, we will take your leaders to Umuru before the big white man come and hang them. The story spread quickly through the villages and was added to as it went. Some said that the men had already been taken to Umuru and would be hanged on the following day. Some said that their families would also be hanged. Others said that the soldiers were already on their way to shoot the people of Umuofia, as they had done in Abame. It was the time of the full moon, but that night the voice of children was not heard. The village Ilo, where they always gathered for a moon play, was empty. The women of Ghetto did not meet in their secret enclosure to learn a new dance to be displayed later to the village. Young men who were always abroad in the moonlight kept their hearts that night. Their manly voices were not heard on the village path as they went to visit their friends and lovers. Umuofia was like a statued animal with ear erect. Sniffy the silent, ominous hair and not knowing where or which way to run. Yes, we are just joining us. It's been Literary Word on Lagoon Radio. Yes, we have been dealing with the 23rd chapter of the text of our choice, Things Fall Apart. Of course, it's been all issues between the church and the people of Umuofia. We just had their leaders arrested and they're brought to the courtroom. Of course, what will be the next issues? We will continue anytime soon. I'll be back in the GV. The silence was broken by the village crier, beating his sonorous ogene. He called every man in Umuofia from the Akankama age group upwards to a meeting in the marketplace after the morning meal. He went from one end of the village to the other and worked all its breadth. He did not leave out any of the main footpaths. Okonkwo's compound was like a deserted homestead. It was as if cold water had been poured on it. His family was all there, but everyone spoke in whispers. His daughter Zima had broken a 28-day visit to the family of her future husband and returned home when she heard that her father had been imprisoned and was going to be hanged. And as soon as she got home, she went to Berika to ask what the men of Umofia were going to do about it. But Ubirika had not been home since morning. His wives thought he had gone to a secret meeting. Azima was satisfied that something was being done. On the morning after the village criers appealed, the men of Umofia met in the marketplace and decided to collect without delay 250 bags of cowries to appease the white man. They did not know that 50 bags would go to the court messengers, who had increased the fine for that purpose. Yes, if you're just joining us, it's been Literary World, and we just finished the 23rd chapter of the text summary. Of course, the text has been Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. It's a text that celebrates the African culture. Of course, it tells us why we need to be careful in all our dealings as far as we want to turn ourselves from savagery to yes, that's where we'll be drawing the curtain on this episode today. Next week will be another time. As we do tell you, you can follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter, Lagoonradio.Ng. Stick to Lagoon Radio and you have no regret. Breed more, learn more. Eat Literary Word. I'm Kayode Ezekiel, and do have unto yourself a blessed day. Bye for now.